Thomas and Friends, making tracks to great destinations. Dear Christopher, here's your friend, Thomas the Tank Engine. He wanted to come out of his station yard and see the world. These stories tell you how he did it. I hope you will like them, because you helped me to make them. Your loving, Daddy. The island of Sodor is surrounded by beautiful blue seas. It has fields of green and sandy yellow beaches. There are rivers, streams, and lots of trees where the birds sing. There are windmills and a coal mine and docks where visitors to the island arrive. The island also has lots and lots of railway lines. Who's that, puffing down the tracks? It's Thomas. Hello, Thomas. Hello, everybody. Welcome to the island of Sodor. Today on the island of Sodor, Thomas and Percy quarrel about their paint. Next, Percy gets himself into a sticky situation. Next, Thomas gets a special job, while Percy is stuck on a siding all night. But first, Percy has a ghostly tale to tell. And every year, on the date of the accident, it runs again as a warning to others, plunging into the gap, shrieking like a lost soul. Percy, what are you talking about? The ghost train. Driver saw it last night. Where? Asked Thomas and Toby. He didn't say. Oh, it makes my wheels wobble to think of it. Puh, said Thomas. You're just a silly little engine. I'm not scared. Thomas didn't believe in your ghost, said Percy next morning. His driver laughed. Neither do I. It was only a pretend ghost story. Percy was disappointed. That evening, he came back from the harbor. Percy knew where he was, even in the dark. Crow's Farm Crossing. We shan't be long now. He liked running at night. The rails hummed and the signal light shone green. But a broken cart of lime lay ahead. Sam the farmer had just gone for help. Oh, wait, hang on, whoa, ah! Ow! Percy broke the cart into smithereens. Lime flew everywhere. He puffed quickly to the nearest signal box. Percy's driver explained what had happened. I'll see to it, said the signalman. But you better clean Percy, or people will think he's a ghost. Percy chuckled. Do let's pretend I'm a ghost and scare Thomas. That'll teach him for saying I'm a silly little engine. Toby promised to help too. You know this random theme has been stuck in my head. Thomas was just being oiled up for his evening train when Toby arrived. Percy's had an accident, cried Toby. Poor engine, said Thomas. Botheration, that means I'll be late. They've cleared the line for you, but there's something worse. Pfft, out with it, Toby. I can't wait here all evening. I've just seen something, said Toby. It looked like Percy's ghost. It said it was coming here to warn us. Puh, who cares? Don't be frightened, Toby. I'll take care of you. Peep, 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 peep. Let me in, wailed Percy. No, not by the smoke on my chimney, chim. I'll chuff, and I'll puff, and I'll break your door in. Oh dear, exclaimed Thomas. It's getting late. Oh, I had no idea. Oh, I must find Annie and Clarabelle. It was morning when Thomas returned. Where have you been? Asked Toby. Ah, well, said Thomas. I knew you would be sad about Percy, and I didn't want to intrude. I slept in the freight shed and... Oh, well, sorry. Can't stop. Gotta see a coach about a train. You know. Percy was none the worse for his adventure, and he was still enjoying himself enormously. He had heard everything. Well. What do you know about that? Anyone would think, chuckled Toby, that our Thomas had just seen a ghost. In the summer, the work crews cut the long grass along the tracks, raking it into heaps to dry in the sun. At this time of year, Percy stops where they have been cutting. The men load up his empty wagons, and he pulls them to the station. Toby then takes them to the hills for the farmers to feed their stock. Jesus Christ, man. Percy gave a ghostly whistle. Don't be frightened, Thomas, he laughed. It's only me. Your ugly phiz is enough to frighten anyone, said Thomas. You're like, ugly indeed. I'm a green caterpillar with red stripes, continued Thomas firmly. You crawl like one too. I don't. Who's been late every afternoon this week? It's the hay. I can't help that, said Thomas. Time's time, though, and Sir Topham Hatt relies on me to keep it. I can't if you crawl in the hay until all hours. Ugh, green caterpillar, indeed. He quickly set off to collect some hay to take to the harbor. Everyone says I'm handsome, or at least nearly everyone. Anyways, my curves are better than Thomas's corners. Thomas always says I'm late, he grumbled. I'm never late. Or at least only a few minutes. What's that to Thomas? He can always make up time later. All the same, he and his driver decided to start home early. Then came trouble. Huh? Oh! Ah! A crate of treacle was upset all over Percy. Percy was cross. Oh, what would Thomas say if he saw me like this? He was still sticky when he puffed away. The wind was blowing fiercely. Look at that! Exclaimed the driver. The wind caught the piles of hay, tossing it up and over the tracks.
The line climbed here. Take a run at it, Percy, his driver advised. Percy gathered speed, but the hay made the rails slippery and his wheels wouldn't grip properly. Time after time, he stalled with spinning wheels and had to wait until the line ahead was cleared before he could start again. Everyone was waiting. Thomas seethed impatiently. 10 minutes late. I warned him. Oh, the passengers are bound to complain. And Sir Topham had... Just then, they all saw Percy. They laughed and shouted. Sorry I'm late, Percy panted. Well, look what's crawled out of the hay, teased Thomas. What's wrong? Asked Percy. Talk about a hairy caterpillar, puffed Thomas. It's worth being late to have seen you.
When Percy got home, his driver showed him what he looked like in the mirror. What the f***? No wonder they all laughed. I am just like a woolly bear. Oh, well, could you please clean me before Toby comes? But it was no good. Thomas told Toby all about it. Instead of talking about sensible things, like playing Ghost, Thomas and Toby made jokes about woolly bear caterpillars and other creatures which crawled about in hay. They laughed a lot, but Percy thought they were being very silly indeed. So I randomly had a lot of issues with the learning segment and trying to remove the vocals, so I wasn't able to, so enjoy some Brandon.
Thomas and Percy have to move some troublesome trucks. Thomas is pushing. And Percy is pushing too. But the troublesome trucks are going nowhere. Can you see why? That's right. Thomas and Percy are pushing against each other. No wonder it's so difficult. Let's try this again. This time, Thomas is pulling instead of pushing. And so is Percy. But the troublesome trucks are still not moving. Do you know why? Thomas and Percy are now pulling against each other. What should they do? Exactly. One should push, and the other should pull. And between them, Thomas and Percy will move those troublesome trucks in no time. Working together makes a job easier.
Thomas and Percy are good friends, but sometimes Percy teases Thomas about being frightened, and he doesn't like that at all. One evening, he was dozing happily in the shed, but Percy wanted to talk. Wake up, Thomas. Are you dreaming about the time that you thought I was a ghost? Certainly not. Anyways, I was only pretending to be scared. I knew it was really you. Percy went on teasing him. I hope the guard leaves the light on for you tonight. Why? Asked Thomas. I quite like the dark. Oh, really? Exclaimed Percy. I am surprised. I'd always thought you were afraid of the dark. I wonder why. Thomas decided to say nothing else, and went to sleep instead. Next day, Sir Topham Hatt came to see him. I would like you to go to the harbor tonight. You'll have to collect something rather unusual. What sort of something? Asked Thomas. Wait and see, replied Sir Topham Hatt. Meanwhile, Percy was moving some freight cars into the siding. Henry arrived with his goods train. The signalman changed the switch, and Percy waited on the siding until Henry had steamed by. Then there was trouble. The switches are jammed, called the signalman. I can't switch them back for Percy. The workmen will have to mend them in the morning. It's too late now.
said Percy's driver. Well, I'm sorry, Percy, but I guess you'll have to stay here for the night.
Where are you going?
Asked Percy. Home for tea, replied the fireman. Percy was speechless.
He watched as the other engines went home to the sheds. Nighttime came, and Percy began to feel very lonely. Oh dear, he murmured. It's very dark. Oh, what was that? It was only an owl, but Percy didn't realize this. Oh, I wish Thomas was here too, he sighed.
Thomas was waiting for his mysterious load at the harbor. Suddenly, there it was. Cinders and ashes, cried Thomas. It's a dragon. Don't worry, laughed his driver. This dragon is made of paper. It's for the carnival tomorrow.
Oh.
Workmen lifted the dragon onto Thomas's load loader and put lights all around for protection. Then, Thomas set off into the misty night. Percy was asleep on his siding and had no idea that Thomas was approaching him. Ah! Percy woke up with a start. Help! Cried Percy. I'm not going to open my eyes until my driver comes. Next morning, the switches were mended and Percy puffed back to the junction. Gordon was just about to leave with the express. You'll never believe what I saw last night. Gordon was in no mood for puzzles. I'm a busy engine. I don't have time for your games. I've seen a huge dragon. It was covered in lights. Gordon snorted. You've been in the sun too long. Your dome's cracked. The hell does that even mean? When the other engines heard the news, they laughed too. Look out, Percy, chuckled James, or the dragon may gobble you up. I cracked myself up.
No one believes me, puffed Percy. Maybe I did imagine that dragon after all.
But Percy soon found out that he hadn't.
Help! Save me!
Cried Percy. It's all right, whistled Thomas, and he explained about the carnival. By the way, how was your night out? Percy decided to tell Thomas the truth. Well, Percy, said Thomas, maybe we do get scared sometimes, but if we're not afraid to tell each other, then that means we're quite brave too.
Thomas is ready to leave the station. He is tingling with excitement. What's Thomas pulling today? Thomas trundles out of the station tugging teddy bears. Thomas trundles out of the station tugging teddy bears and teacups. Now Thomas trundles out of the station tugging teddy bears, teacups, and tablecloths. Can you remember what Thomas is tugging? Thomas trundles out of the station tugging teddy bears, teacups, and tablecloths. I wonder what's next. Thomas trundles out of the station tugging teddy bears, teacups, tablecloths, and a teapot. Can you remember all the things that Thomas was tugging? Let's see. Thomas trundles out of the station tugging teddy bears, teacups, tablecloths, and a teapot. Can you guess where Thomas is going? Thomas is trundling to a teddy bear's tea party.
It was a beautiful morning on the island of Sodor. Thomas the Tank Engine's blue paint sparkled in the sunlight, and he puffed happily along his branch line with Annie and Clarabelle. He was feeling very pleased with himself.
So anyways, that's when I told Henry
Syation that she wouldn't become a henhouse. But she's the only— Hey, Bozo, stop talking about yourself. Look at me. Hello, Thomas, whistled Percy. You look splendid. Yes, indeed, boasted Thomas. Blue is the only proper color for an engine. Oh, well, I don't know. I like my brown paint, said Toby. And I've always been green. I wouldn't want to be any other color either, added Percy. Well, anyways, huffed Thomas, blue is the only color for a really useful engine. Everyone knows that. Yeah. Percy said no more. He just grinned at Toby. Later, Thomas was resting when Percy arrived. A large hopper was loading his freight cars full of coal. Thomas was still being cheeky. Careful, he warned. Watch out with those silly cars. Go on, muttered the cars. Oh, and by the way, those buffers don't look very safe to me. Oh! The last load poured down. Help! Help! Cried Thomas. Get me out! Get me out! Percy was worried, but he couldn't help laughing. Thomas's smart blue paint was covered in coal dust from smokebox to bunker. Chuckled Percy. You don't really look useful now, Thomas. You look really disgraceful. I'm not disgraceful, choked Thomas. You did that on purpose. Get me out. It took so long to clean Thomas that he wasn't ready in time for his next train. Toby had to take Annie and Clarabelle for him. Poor Thomas, whispered Annie to Clarabelle. They were most upset. Thomas was grumpy in the shed that night. Toby thought it made a great joke, but Percy was cross with Thomas for thinking that he had made his paint dirty on purpose. Fancy letting a really useful blue engine like Thomas becoming a disgrace to Sir Topham Hatt's railway. Oh, okay, you stupid gremlin. I specifically told you that those buffers were bad. No, it was still the truck that pushed me through the buffers. The next day, Thomas was feeling much more cheerful as he watched Percy bring his cars from the junction. The cars were heavy, and Percy was tired. Have a drink, said his driver. Then you'll feel better. The water column stood at the end of a siding with the unsafe buffers. Suddenly, Percy found that he couldn't stop. The buffers didn't stop him either. Oh! Wailed Percy. Help! The buffers were broken, and Percy was wheel-deep in coal. It was time for Thomas to leave. He had seen everything. Now Percy's learned his lesson too, he chuckled to himself. Oh no, he's gonna meme on me so hard now. But Percy was wrong. He had already had. That night, the two engines made up their quarrel. I didn't cause your accident on purpose, Thomas, whispered Percy. You do know that, don't you? Of course, replied Thomas. And I'm sorry I teased you. Your green paint looks splendid again, too. In future, we'll both be more careful around coal. And I'll be better around buffers, too.
Down in the middle of Tidmouth sheds, two little engines, best of friends. One is blue, the other green, part of the really useful team. Jumping around and around the track, hauling cargo back to back. Thomas and Percy, best friends you've seen. Thomas and Percy, best friends you've seen. Thomas and Percy, blue and green, best of friends that you ever seen. Thomas and Percy. best of friends. Thomas and Percy, best of friends. Emily, Gordon, and Henry going through. Edward, James, and Toby too. Really useful, good friends. Work together to the end. But the best of friends that you're gonna see are Thomas and Percy, blue and green. Thomas and Percy, best friends you'll see. Thomas and Percy, best friends you'll see. Thomas and Percy, blue and green, best of friends that you ever see. Thomas and Percy, best friends you'll see. Thomas and Percy, best friends you'll see. Thomas and Percy, blue and green, best of friends that you ever see. Thomas and Percy, blue and green, best of friends that you ever see. Thomas and Percy, blue and green, best of friends that you ever